Have you ever tried to push a river? Felt the absurdity of forcing something that clearly wants its own path? That tug between wanting control and noticing life's own rhythms is the very question Taoism sits with. Is meaning something we achieve by effort, or something we discover by yielding? Kai designed urban parks, precise plans, exact plant lists, schedules tightly wound like a drum. He loved structure. When a new waterfront project landed on his desk, he tried to map every breeze, every footpath, every picnic blanket in advance. The result was efficient and tidy, but when the park opened, people did not use it the way his diagrams promised. They drifted, lingered where he hadn't planned, and found pleasures in spontaneous small things. A shady bench, a stray dog, children inventing games. Kai felt both baffled and a little affronted. If meaning is about shaping the world rightly, why did his shaping miss what mattered most? Taoism offers a luminous answer that looks like a paradox. The way, Tao, is the source and pattern of everything, yet it cannot be grasped fully by names or plans. It is nearer to silence than theory, an abiding intelligence that organizes without clamor. The human task, therefore, is less about imposing designs and more about tuning ourselves to that unforced order. The classic phrase is wu wei, often translated as non-action, but better heard as effortless action, acting in a way that is aligned with the moment, so that effort and outcome flow together. This is not laziness or passivity. It is a refined responsiveness, a practice of listening. The Taoist sees the world as a web of interdependent movements, yin and yang continually shifting, and recognizes that pushing too hard in one direction creates imbalance. Meaning, then, is a kind of harmony, not personal achievement isolated from the whole, but a resonance between one's life and the broader currents of nature and community. Another key image is the uncarved block, Pu. It's the idea that simplicity and openness hold potential. Kai's meticulously curated park was a carved block, finished, fixed. What the park needed, as he slowly noticed, was spaces that invited discovery, not prescriptions. The art was to leave room for people's improvisation, for rain to shape paths, for grass to reclaim a corner, and children to invent a ritual. That openness, ziran, naturalness, creates room for life to reveal its meaning through use, through lived interaction, not through top-down design. Taoism also brings a moral humility called Ti, the virtue or power that accrues to those who do not force themselves forward. When Kai learned to step back, to watch, to make small adjustments rather than grand mandates, he found his work unexpectedly more effective. He began to design with seasons instead of against them, to invite natural water flows rather than install noisy pumps, to plant in patterns that the winds and birds seemed to approve. Ironically, surrendering strict control yielded results truer and more durable than his original plans. This view reframes suffering and striving. Hardship is not meaningless punishment, but a teacher about misalignment, moments that point back to balance. The Taoist path does not promise a life free from difficulty. It promises a stance that meets difficulty with calm attention and creative yielding. Meaning emerges in the steady practice of returning, like the way a river finds its bed after a storm, rather than in a triumphant conquest over circumstance. For Kai, the shift was quieter than an epiphany. It came as a rhythm, first noticing where plans clashed with life, then loosening his grip, then watching with curiosity as small, surprising patterns emerged. His professional pride didn't vanish, it was reoriented. Designing parks became less about controlling human behavior and more about composing conditions where human life could unfold with grace. Taoism proposes that meaning is not a trophy to be earned nor a script to follow. It's a harmonizing attunement, a way of moving through the world that honors natural rhythms, invites spontaneity, and practices humble power. When we stop trying to push the river and learn instead to read its currents, our lives cease being battles and begin to become dances. Kai's plans never stopped mattering. They simply began to make space for life itself to teach him what mattered most.